Hi, I'm Danny Knightmare.
And I'm MonsterFace, and we're Horror Addicts.
And happy Friday the 13th, a holiday that we deeply love around here. We haven't had too many lately though. When I first started Horror Addicts, there's been plenty of them. But now, this last year anyways, there has been a couple. So, we need to get caught up on some of our Friday 13th content.
Whatever happened to old Canadian Jason?
Well, you know, we don't really hang out anymore much. I haven't had a lot of time to travel up to the Great White North, but, you know, I'm sure he's up there, doing what he still loves doing. Wherever he is, we hope he's having a great Friday. And the same for all you fellow horror addicts. So, we've already covered Never Hike Alone. We've already covered Never Hike in the Snow. But now that we got another Friday the 13th, I think it's time we finish off the trilogy. Vincent DeSade is at it again, Never Hike Alone 2.
These are good enough to be canon.
You know what, far as I'm concerned, they are just as canon as all that Deadite shit that they try to sneak into Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, this one's got Tommy Jarvis in it.
Yeah, Tom Mathhouse. My favorite Tommy Jarvis. For like 3 movies we had this character, and then he kind of just disappeared. I'm not saying I didn't like 7, I'm not saying I didn't like 8, you know, when he went to Manhattan for the end of the movie. Especially because Kane Hodder took over around then. But I feel like a lot of us fans really liked Tommy Jarvis. I mean, we related to him even when he was a kid. He was a horror fan. He made cool masks. And yeah, we wanted to see him defeat Maggot Head. And he kind of did, but then he just ran away. So I love how these movies give us that Tommy Jarvis closure that we all kind of wanted because, you know, he kind of brought Jason back to life via like lightning bolt Frankenstein style. And yeah, he just like dumped him in the lake one last time and that's not satisfying.
Yeah, in this movie, he actually even admits that it's his fault that Jason's a reanimated corpse.
Or a ghost. You see, as we talked about, there's Never Hike Alone, the original, which is basically a mostly found footage movie that follows this YouTuber called Kyle MacLeod, who goes on extreme hikes. He's played by Drew Lady, get a tiny bit of Tom Matthews. Then there was the prequel, that's only a short film, Never Hike in the Snow, where another hiker is killed horribly. God, I love that kill. You get even more Tom Matthews, but the movie's pretty short and it ends with a cool ghosting out. But there's also this really cool The Ghost Cut, which combines both movies, and I recommend you watch it that way if you get the chance. But now we're talking about part 2. We're going to rewind a little bit, not as far back as Never Hike in the Snow, but we're going to basically kind of show what Tommy Jarvis was doing while Kyle was out hiking. We also got Anna Campbell coming back.
Yeah, it's Dr. Diana Hill. Damn, her kid got messed up. And she still doesn't even know what happened to him.
Well, it's mostly because Sheriff Rick is a dick.
Yeah, he used to be Deputy Dick in Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives.
I mean, he's a sheriff now, but he's covering up stuff. And I thought maybe he was just like, you know what, I don't want people to know that there's a Jason out there because it would send my people into a panic. In this movie, we kind of find out that, no, he thinks maybe Tommy Jarvis is doing all this stuff. And we get kind of some story arc for him, too.
He's fucking real.
I tried to tell you, you dick.
After all these years, I'm sorry.
So I have to say, just like the last 2 movies, the acting is great. All around the board. We got our main players, they do a phenomenal job. However, this is the biggest cast they've had.
Which also means it's the biggest body count.
Oh yeah. And the gore is also just as good as it's been. Granted, I don't know if any death in this movie quite tops that one in Never Hike in the Snow. That one was just chef's kiss. But there's still so much good gore and practical effects in this.
Lots of good action, too.
Yeah, Jessica Aaron Bennett comes back as a stunt coordinator. Great job there as well.
The score is good.
And even though, gonna have a critique right here, we open with a dream sequence. I hate dream sequences in movies. But you know what? I feel like this one is very good for Tommy Jarvis' character, his motivation. So you know what? I'm going to let it slide. As long as we don't get out of hand with more dream sequences later in the movie.
I think they're going to have more later in the movie.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't think all of them are necessary, but this first one, actually great, and just right there, look at that. The cinematography and the scene transitions are just so good in this movie. Like, Dasante, man, you and your crew are so talented. Let's just say, there's a lot of cool gore, a lot of violence. They come up with some cool, like, tie-ins. Speaking of which, I noticed that on Tommy Jarvis's little murder board. Yeah, Roy's mask, which makes sense because he ran afoul of Roy, didn't he? He's been in 3 movies, and one time it wasn't even Jason. It's fucking Roy Burns. So that was kind of cool. Nice little touch adding that there.
There's also like references to the video games.
Yeah, they have to come up with a couple of different plans in this movie. And they actually even debate on putting, like, do they have time to put a new car battery into the car?
You expect to replace a battery with that psycho walking around?
Hell, I think they even have a reference to the old video game.
Yeah, there's even a plan that they come up with to try and stop Jason that involves the old Nintendo video game. I'm not gonna tell you necessarily if they succeed in these plans. Very small complaints, maybe a little too many dream sequences, as I said. Overall, great fucking movie. Great trilogy. They're free on YouTube. Definitely go see it. Yes, check them out. If you act quickly, there's still time to donate to Whompstown Films' Kickstarter for Never Hike Alone, the final cut. So, you know, show them some love. Depending on how much you donate, all kinds of cool rewards. It's Friday the 13th, so treat yourself. Like I said, I really want to see Vincent DiSanti do even more unique work, but at the same time, I love it when he does this. He also helped produce Dylan's Knightmare. He worked alongside The Horror Show, which they came out with that last year, and that was really good. He had 2 amazingly good fan films last year.
Your fan movies are fan-fucking-tastic.
Anyways, keep at it. Happy Friday the 13th, y'all. Links in the bottom. You should check out these movies. It's a good way to celebrate today. But until next time,
Cut!
Not for second place.